from storyflo. This is your daily audio brief for June 18th. Brock, June 18th. 5 from the leagues. Here's where I'd start. Let's get into it. First, from Marca. On debut aCongojante and LTBR and GT, Cristiano Ronaldo walked off at halftime in Houston. The Portuguese star left the field after the first half of the World Cup Group K clash with Congo on June 17, 2026. The match unfolded at a packed stadium, and the Portuguese side kept pressing while Congo made a spirited debut. Ronaldo's exit was the headline moment. He didn't return for the second half, and the crowd watched the rest of the game without him. The Portuguese squad adjusted their attack, and the Congolese players kept fighting for every ball. The game continued with both sides seeking a win. Portugal aimed to stay on track in the group, while Congo hoped to make a strong impression in their first World Cup appearance. The final result will shape the next round of matches. Next, second, from Awful Announcing. Fox denies issues with ESPN's World Cup coverage. Front Office Sports stands by report. Fox Sports has denied any issues with ESPN over World Cup coverage this week, after a story suggested the network was frustrated by the worldwide leader's lack of content around the tournament. Earlier this week, Front Office Sports reported that anonymous Fox executives had taken issue with ESPN's minimal coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup after its daytime studio shows had seemingly pledged to do so. Up next, third, from Awful Announcing. The former Tottenham and Real Madrid midfielder, now a pundit for Dutch broadcaster NOS, was dissecting the Netherlands' stoppage time collapse against Japan, a match that ended in a frantic 2-2 draw after Daichi Kamada converted a deflected header in the 88th minute. Tremendo golazo de Japón. O empatan en lo ultimo. Rafael van der Vaart apologizes for "they do all look alike" remark about Japan. Rafael van der Vaart was midway through a tidy breakdown of a blown defensive assignment when he decided to editorialize on the ethnicity of the players involved. Daichi Kamada Marca con unquebzazo en un tiro de esquina y impeja el encuentro ante Países Bajos. El Major Par. And then, fourth, from Awful Announcing. French tennis player Corentin Moutet can't stop saying F***ck in post-match interview. FYI, if you ever find yourself interviewing French tennis player Corentin Moutet, make sure you're broadcasting on a delay. Moutet, currently the No. 36 ranked men's tennis player, defeated Giovanni Mpecci Pericard 6-7-5, 6-4, 7-6-5 in the HSBC Championships at the Queen's Club in London. Next, fifth, from Awful Announcing. Fox's Big Noon Kickoff announces first international broadcast with Arizona State, Kansas in London. Fox Sports and Big Noon Kickoff will be live from London this fall when American college football once again descends on the United Kingdom. According to a report from On3 Brett McMurphy, the Fox studio show will make its first ever international appearance at this year's inaugural Union Jack Classic, scheduled for Sept. 19 between Arizona State and Kansas at Wembley Stadium. The show will be in its usual time slot leading up to the noon ET kickoff from London, though the game will air on FS1 per McMurphy. Up next, sixth, from Awful Announcing. Australian media turns Mike Greller's layup comment into World Cup storyline, with the United States and Australia set to face off in group play at the World Cup on Friday. Comments from an American soccer commentator about the Australian national team have become a major storyline down under, even as the controversy has barely registered in the United States. It was CBS Sports Golazo commentator Mike Greller who first called the Australian soccer team a layup during live coverage of the World Cup draw, prompting significant pushback from Australian soccer fans and commentators. Layup for the US. And then, seventh, from Awful Announcing. Thierry Henry perfectly describes Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo dilemma. The opening games of the 2026 World Cup have been all about the biggest stars in the world showing up on the biggest stage in the world, except for one notable disappointment: Cristiano Ronaldo. Rather than the multiple incredible knockouts or even the red, white and blue pageantry of the UFC Freedom 250 card, a considerable amount of the reaction to the White House-hosted event has centered on heavyweight fighter Josh Hockett, who in a post-match interview tried to egg on the audience by stating that the former First Lady was a man. On Tuesday, Kylian Mbappé scored twice in France's victory over Senegal. Erling Haaland also scored twice in Norway's win against Iraq. Next, eighth, from Awful Announcing. Daniel Cormier calls out Lamer's F***ck quip by Josh Hockett. He needs to do better. while UFC President Dana White denounced Hockett's racist comments in a statement to Time magazine after the event. Hockett has not apologized or walked them back, which echoed a similarly ugly message toward WNBA star Brittany Griner earlier this year, and will. Up next, 9th, from Awful Announcing, Fox's Casper Schmeichel hilariously compares England to Dallas Cowboys. With the World Cup coming to North America, there's been a concerted effort to try to connect the world's game to the most popular sport in America, the NFL, and no one did it quite like Fox analyst Casper Schmeichel with the England national team and the Dallas Cowboys. It was only fitting that England were playing Croatia in the house that Jerry Jones built for the Cowboys at what FIFA is calling Dallas Stadium, even though it's in Arlington. And then, 10th, from Awful Announcing, Kendrick Perkins blasts Vincent Goodwill over participation trophy comment. ESPN NBA reporter Vincent Goodwill has taken a lot of heat over his comments this week on Get Up in calling the Larry O'Brien Trophy a participation trophy given the recent parity the association is seeding. And now that heat is even coming from his ESPN colleagues. Goodwill unleashed one of the most unusual takes we've ever seen on Tuesday when arguing that dynasties were better for the sport than an era of increased competition. That's the rundown. Back at it tomorrow.